Hey everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing more ombre stamping because you know I cannot get enough of it. And I'm featuring some brand new stamps from scrapbook.com. These are available exclusively at scrapbook.com. And here's a look at their brand new release here for May. They've got some really great sentiment stamp sets that are based around a larger sentiment and some sub-sentiments. And I'll be using that Prayers for You stamp set today in today's card. So I'm starting out with the We Are Memory Keepers Precision Press Advance. I'm going to be using this for my stamping. It's a stamp positioning tool. It has some rubber feet on it so that you can press your stamps down onto your paper here. And I've been using this and kind of trying it out lately. I really like that you can remove that acrylic stamping block and get a completely different block so that if you want several of these on hand, you can. That's actually really handy for stamp layering stamp sets. It also allows you to put any size paper in it because it has two open edges, and you can see here is a look at the extra acrylic stamping blocks that you can get. And this is nice because they all kind of stack up and store really neatly. Now for today's card, I'm going to be using the pattern plate add-on. This is an additional accessory that you can get to go with the Precision Press Advance, and it allows you to kind of stamp an image exactly 1 inch from the next one. You're just going to move this down on the pegs. So I'm going to show you this in action here, and I'm starting by inking up this prayer stamp in the lightest pink ink from scrapbook.com. So these come in sets of 4, these inks. The lightest one is like pink 1, and it's like ballet slippers or something like that. Anyway, you can see I'm inking that up, and I'm just stamping it onto some Neenah Solar White cardstock. Now, because this is a stamp positioning tool, I can actually stamp in the same place twice if I want to. So I went ahead and deepened up that first pink ink by stamping it twice and layering up that ink. Now for the second image, I'm going to ink up the entire image in pink 1, and I'm going to ink up the bottom of the image only in the pink 2 ink. And then I'm going to move this pattern plate down 1 peg, and I'm going to stamp it below that previously stamped image. Now I'm going to keep working my way through this ink set. So for the third image, I'm going to ink up in pink 2 along the entire stamp, and then just along the bottom with the pink 3 color, which is one of my favorites in the scrapbook.com line. And then I'm going to take this pattern plate, I'm going to move it 1 peg down, and I'm going to press down to stamp my image exactly 1 inch from the one above it. Now I'm going to continue to work my way down. So I'm inking up once again with pink 3 and the bottom of this stamp with pink 4, just to add a little bit of darker color along the bottom of each of these stamped images. And you can see I'm getting that really nice ombre effect all the way down my card front here. This piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock that's in my precision press is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it's the size of an A2 size card front. And scrapbook.com does offer the Neenah Solar White cardstock pre-cut to the A2 size cards. So for the last stamped image, I'm going to use the pink 4, and I'm going to stamp it once. And then I'm going to ink my stamp up again, and I'm going to stamp directly over the top of that previously stamped image just to kind of deepen up that color. And you can see I have a really beautiful ombre stamped panel here that I can put on my card front. Now I do want to trim this down just a little bit so there's a little bit of a border around this card front when I place it onto my card base. So I'm just trimming about 1/8 of an inch off of each edge. And I did it off of each edge because I centered this pattern up in the center of that cardstock. And if I were to take just 1/4 of an inch off of one edge, it would kind of push my pattern off center. So in order to keep that pattern directly in the center of my cardstock, I'm just going to cut 1/8 of an inch off all 4 sides, and we're good to go. Now I die cut a couple of leaf images. That's the Botanical Beauty die from the Stamp Market. And I've just kind of set those aside. Those are from some Heidi Swapp pattern paper. And now I am stamping this little kind of rectangular sentiment that comes in the Prayers for You stamp set. I've stamped it onto some Neenah Solar White cardstock and I've cut it out with my scissors. And then I'm just taking a light gray marker and drawing some lines in to make it look like it's a little envelope. And that's really easy to do. Anybody can do it. I am no artist for sure. And then I'm going to take and just start layering all these pieces up. So I have a vellum circle that I've cut here, and I'm adding my leaves onto that using the Lawn Fawn glue tube. And then I'm going to take this little envelope that I created, and I'm going to adhere it onto that circle right over these leaves using a double layer of foam adhesive here. So that's going to kind of be my focal point on this card. Now that vellum panel that you see there, I went ahead and stitched that on using my We Are Memory Keeper So Happy sewing machine. And I used some gold metallic thread for that. And in order to pull these threads to the back of my card project so you don't see them on the front, I'm going to take the back thread and I'm just going to pull it up until it creates a loop on the back of my card front with the front thread. And then I'm going to take that loop, I'm going to stick my little pokey tool through it, and I'm going to pull that front thread to the back of my card, and that keeps the front of this card really clean looking, and I can adhere those down on the back and just trim them off. Now I've gone ahead and finished that up, and then I'm adding this circle piece on with a layer of foam adhesive here. And then I'm going to take one of these scrapbook.com pre-made card bases. These are pre-cut, pre-scored, and all you have to do is reinforce that score line. They're also made of some Neenah Solar White cardstock. And I'm going to add some foam adhesive to the back of my card front, and I'm going to do something that's going to hurt right now. Do not do this. Cut right into my fingers, you guys. This thing is so deep and so jagged. It is healing, but it hurt like crazy. So be aware of what you're doing with your scissors, okay? So what I've done is I've gone ahead and taken a piece of that Heidi Swapp 6x6 pattern paper. I just kind of stripped down and put that onto my card. And then I added my card front to the card base using some foam adhesive. Now I decided I wanted to create another little envelope, so I'm going to do a little masking here with the Thermoweb purple tape. What I've done is I've gone ahead and placed a piece of purple tape right over the center word portion of this rectangle sentiment stamp that I used earlier to create my little envelope, and I've inked up my stamp. Then I'm going to remove that purple tape, so this leaves me with just the outer rectangle stamped here, and I'm going to cut that out and create another little mini envelope to kind of place on my card front here because I felt like it needed one more thing. And then I finished this off with some Doodlebug enamel heart sprinkles, and those tied in perfectly to that pink ink that I used in the background. And I absolutely love that this card has tons of color, but it's also really soft at the same time. And I think it's a perfect way to let someone know that you're thinking of them, you're praying for them, and you're sending positive thoughts their way. Now you could use any of the brand new scrapbook.com sentiment sets here that I'm showing you to recreate this card for any occasion. There's one for birthdays, there's one that says thank you, and one that says hugs. So you really can create this in a variety of different sentiments. Or instead of using an ombre color scheme, you could absolutely use a rainbow color scheme as well. So that completes my ombre stamped card for today. I absolutely love ombre stamping. It is one of my favorite techniques, and this is just another way that you can accomplish that look on your card. As always, you can find links to the featured products used in this project in the description at YouTube, but head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I'll have that linked below. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. As always, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials. I'm so glad you stopped by and hung out with me today. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.